It's MLG Championship Sunday.
Get in there, son! It's a are you serious?
Did you see that?
That was a juke set!
Who needs a sniper when your M8's that crispy?
I got the 3, make it 4 kills at the start. He's already
pop it. There's the record! There's the record! My God! For a third gifted as well! Chris for all four! How did he do it? Somebody hold him!
They get it done.
Complete commotion is gonna be zero!
Not enough time to work with! And OpTic Gaming is done! Incredible stuff. Mike killing everybody. Watch all the points! Oh, God! That made me nervous. They're already lining up back to the interceptor. Can he get it done? 15 seconds left. Wrapping around the back. They're all stacked up. They're ready for the pick. The shot is over the top. And it's good! What did we just see at MLG Orlando?
Orlando, we are live. It's prime time. Welcome to MLG Championship Sunday. I'm Chris Puckett, joined at the desk. We have the world champions. We got replays. We got Merc, and we got TP, as well as 2 incredible teams. This is the winners bracket finals, and we got to talk about how we got here. OpTic Gaming taking on eLevate. No surprise to see OpTic Gaming here, but this is the second time that eLevate will be facing them in an open bracket winners bracket finals.
Yeah, extremely, impressive to see eLevate back here. We were doubting them quite a bit yesterday, but their placings seem to speak for themselves. But, OpTic Gaming cruising through this winner bracket, and eLevate kind of doing the same, to be honest. We didn't really expect them to beat FaZe. We didn't really expect them to beat Luminosity, and sure enough, here they are again, and they dominated last night.
Yeah, you just have to give huge props to not only Aqua and Felony, but also Viceno. He had such a huge series last night. They absolutely dominated Luminosity.
And OpTic Gaming, this is a squad that we expect to see here in the winners bracket, but they had to rally off 3 wins after being down 2 games to Rise Nation. So they've had a little bit of a tough road, but this is, do you guys still consider this the top squad in Call of Duty right now?
I think you can't argue right now. I think this is the top squad. I know they had a rough event last event, but single elimination, they didn't get their first way. Now I think this is the event that they're coming to prove themselves. I think they did after going down 2-0 to Rise. I think this is the time for them to show it.
There's times where you see chinks in the armor. They haven't shown that absolutely dominating OpTic Gaming fashion we're used to seeing, but sure enough, they're in a winter final again. That comeback, the reverse sweep versus Rise, really is a momentum builder for them. It's going to be a tough one for eLevate, in my opinion, when OpTic Gaming makes it to a championship Sunday, as always.
Yeah, these 4 guys on one roster, you're always just going to consider them so talented. They're just the best in the world, and that's just what we expect out of them every single event.
And we got to talk about the individuals. I think the one guy that really shined last night was Crim6. When their back was against the wall, when they're facing elimination in the winners bracket, Crim was the one who got the team hyped. He was the one who was making some of the big plays, and this is something that you talked about last night, TP. You always expect to see Crim6 take his game to the next level when they're facing elimination.
The uplink was the perfect example of what someone like Crim can bring to a top lineup. You saw in the later seconds of the uplink, he makes the heads-up decision to rotate the drone over towards the granny, hit the wall run to get his team back into the series, extended to the CTF, and you saw what they were able to do when he opened that up for them. Dominated the CTF, dominated the last map, S&D. And all it takes is one play from a guy like this to light your team's energy up.
And Merc, I got to ask you, when you're looking for some superstar firepower here on OpTic Gaming, of course, all 4 players have flashy plays, but who is the guy that is going to give it to you most consistently?
Most consistently, I think probably you have to give it to Scump. He's been so consistent his whole COD career. I mean, he's just so good at what he does, and then you have that leadership in Crimson sort of, giving him objectives on the map, and he just does them so well. Scump, every single time, just plays so consistently at every single tournament.
Scumpy has been nicknamed the King, and that's for a reason. He is always holding the trophies. He is definitely the face of OpTic Gaming, in my opinion, right now. He's always smiling in those post-game interviews, but he does give a lot of props to his teammates. Let's look at the ban and protect. You can see what happened here as eLevate got rid of the Shiva. We're going to see Kinetic removed by eLevate as well. The HCXD and High Caliber are out of the action. What are you seeing from OpTic Gaming? Any surprises?
I don't think we see any surprises here. I'm pretty sure this is a standard ban. I think this is going to probably be in OpTic's favor, in my opinion, especially for the hard point. When OpTic gets their way in the ban and protect, they like to play with those greedy classes, which means you stack more of the attachments on your assault rifles or your submachine guns. And I think that kind of favors into OpTic. I think this is going to be probably OpTic's edge. I don't really know, though.
Here we have our specialist draft. Heatwave is going for Nagafen. We're going to see Felony with the Tempest. Scythe is coming out for Aqua, and Facento is going with the active camo. OpTic Gaming will be up next for our specialist draft, and we'll see how this one plays out, starting with Scump, as he's going to make the first selection. It looks like that is also going to be some active camo. The Scythe is going to be coming out. Heatwave now for Karma, and Crim6 is pulling out the Tempest.
Yeah, I mean, you just see a mirror matchup, double weapons with that kinetic on. That I like that ban out of eLevate. Keep that out of Scump's hand. He can just be so effective with it.
Well, this is just game number 1. We're going to see a best of 5. We've introduced you to OpTic Gaming, but we will show you the faces of eLevate going into game number 2. Before we send it over for the map, guys, prediction here in the best of 5. What's happening in game 1?
I think game number 1, it's a fringe hard point. It's OpTic.
Going OpTic here.
Yeah, I'm going to go OpTic. I know this has been one of their weaker maps, but they're looking strong.
Replays, OpTic's been struggling early in series. Do they lose game 1?
For the hard point, no, I think they're going to take this one.
All right, we have 3 experts all calling OpTic. We'll see, can eLevate get off to a hot start? They did it last time they matched up in the grand finals. It's time for the map to load. Let's send it over to our casters.
Let's get it started, folks. It's your winners bracket finals of the MLG Orlando Open. Mr. X joining me on the desk. This is your grand finals rematch from MLG Anaheim. eLevate going up against OpTic Gaming, and we're following Scump off the break.
Yeah, and in that match, eLevate made that series pretty close because they were able to win that first hard point. Some things you saw in the Ban and Protect, we can kind of cover it real quick. You saw the Shiva go and the kinetic armor go. That's a huge win for the side of eLevate. Karma and Crim have been great with the Shiva all weekend. And then it's a little bit of a change from OpTic Gaming. Usually they'll go heavy on banning concussions and flashes. This tournament, they've gone banning the lethals. They've got rid of the Sentex and the frag grenade, and then also they changed some of their specialists for this matchup. They were putting Psychosis on Scump and still running 3 abilities. This time they go with double weapons.
Great breakdown there from you, Matt. Something I do want to mention with the Shiva, I feel like this weekend we've seen more than any other where this OpTic Gaming squad has favored that lethal long-range assault rifle weapon. Either way, it's definitely impacting them on this first hard point as eLevate are up 30-4, but finally OpTic Gaming break in due to the 2-piece of formal.
Yeah, no, it's really affected Karma the most, I think, the Shiva. He just has not looked comfortable with the M8 this weekend, which is quite odd. That's one of the things that you've been seeing out of his gameplay that he's really excelled in lately is he's Scump flying in the hard point, he's able to pick up 2. It's going to be eLevate funneling, and they're going to be able to get control. So though Scump picks up that 2-piece, OpTic gets nothing for it.
Nagafen, great start from him, 8-2 with Heatwave. He's got 2 streaks, pops the Heatwave, connects with 1. Karma's able to cut him down, but he's got Felony with the help. Every player on eLevate positive at the moment. And if you remember, back to MLG Anaheim 2 short months ago, in that grand final, eLevate snuck the hard point out from underneath OpTic Gaming, which gave them that 1-0 series lead, which at least helped them get to that game 5. Obviously, OpTic Gaming winning it in game 5. We'll see how this one plays out as time goes on. OpTic Gaming will get the rest of the scrap time. eLevate have given it up for good reason, though. They want that early rotation towards the
And I do like this decision a lot from the side of eLevate. They're going to set up for this Grandma's hardpoint, try and lock it down at the beginning and make up for this time. But you see the kill feed going in OpTic Gaming's favor right now. It's just going to be Nagafen inside and around that Grandma's hardpoint. Needs to go big for eLevate.
Try to see where his first engagement comes in, and the whole time playing so patiently. Unfortunately, an awkward timing there doesn't go his way. Immediately, though, they call him the Hellstorm to see what they can get done. Nagafen picks Karma out of the back spawn, but either way, this is the frustrating part of Grandma's for some pro players, Matt, is you will still spawn Globe even if you push everyone out of the back of the map. There it is again. OpTic Gaming get 2 more players to spawn there. Scump can't find the kill. The help comes in. eLevate hold again, but the lead they once had has now diminished.
Yeah, and right there, Aqua just playing a little bit passive, and that's the only real option he has. You were talking about the other team, OpTic Gaming spawning at Globe. If Aqua gets all the way across those back silos, he's able to spawn them out from that area, but needs to be cautious. Can't die doing it. The lightning comes in. They're able to break.
Formal trying to push down middle map. I do want to point out slow starts. Crim6, 5-11. Karma, 6-11. If you remember, Crim had, what, a 52 kill performance earlier this weekend in Hardpoint. Now quite far from that. You're going to need more from your world champion Call of Duty caliber players throughout their career. eLevate up 88-55. EMP does come in. Facento cut down. Nagafen, the player in the hard point, he goes down as well. OpTic on rotation, get the first couple kills.
And although OpTic is, within striking distance, you kind of look at how this game's developed. it's not really been that close. I mean, eLevate's done a fantastic job here early. OpTic gets a lot of their time at the beginning of that grandma hardpoint. They take the last few seconds of that tracks, the auto area.
Yep.
Right now going into tracks. I mean, eLevate has really dominated this hardpoint game this far.
And look who's still on the struggle. 5 and 14 now from Crim6. He hasn't gotten a kill in his last 6 deaths. Finally, with the help of a team shot from Formal, they're able to put the pressure onto eLevate. Ooh, turns and burns on a Nagavin. Nearly changed it to Felony as well. If OpTic can get out of this first rotation that they played very lackluster in, down by only, what, 10 seconds? They've got to be feeling okay, saying, guys, we had a slow start, but we can get back into this. And precise shots from Formal. Oh, don't do it to Nagavin. I know he's got a sub, but either way, Formal continues to stay alive.
Yeah, Formal just does a fantastic job playing his life there. He's able to take Nagavin out and now trying to work back towards the center hardpoint. Now it's going to be eLevate in there, controlling it early, but OpTic needs somebody to come to life besides Formal. I mean, Formal's only positive too. You can't say he's playing like lights out, but still, he's been the only one for OpTic thus far that's really pulled his weight.
An unfortunate fight loss there for OpTic Gaming. Facento, he's had a monster weekend too. He's had some brilliant matches. Not the best performance at MLG Anaheim.
No.
This time around, though, at Orlando, it's been an entirely different story.
Well, in this team, after stage 2, they were kind of like thinking about maybe let's make a change. You were looking at probably Felony and Facento, the 2 players that they were going to switch out.
Yep.
You know, Felony has played pretty well this weekend, but I really think you've seen probably the best Facento has played in Black Ops 3 this far here in Orlando.
And I'm actually going to pull out the sights the rest of this time. He wants these streaks,
Okay.
and he's going to go ahead and get him, taking matters into his own hands. 3-piece nearly has the 9-kill streak. eLevate back up by 20, but the big thing to point out, look at the bottom right of your screen. Dart, Lightning, Hellstorm, Aqua with streaks. eLevate in control, looking to get their largest lead of the game.
It's like, I don't think anyone would ever recommend using a scythe on that hard point, but to get those streaks, totally worth it. Now you see Formal's going to use his scythe, trying to give his teammates some cover as they get in towards that auto area, and he's just not able to do it. See one streak coming down from Aqua, trying to break the hard point for eLevate. It's going to be Felony flying in, gets one. Nobody there to trade that out right away, though. It seems like they just completely forgot about Crim. Walked right by. Crim picks up a 2-piece, and now OpTic Gaming controls the hard point.
One thing I do want to mention, all 4 players in OpTic Gaming still negative in slaying. Typically where eLevate struggle is in their slaying department in hardpoint, especially against the likes of OpTic Gaming. But Merc did mention on this map that this looks a little bit shaky on the side of OpTic. Some nice shots by Karma. He's getting it done with every weapon. It's now him and Crim6 on a combined 8 streak. I mentioned earlier, as you needed more from those 2, it looks like they're finally starting to get in their groove.
It's like, for as good as eLevate has played and for as poor as we think OpTic has played this far, they are still within striking distance. They're going to get control of Grandma here early as well, so they should be able to make up a lot of time here, Jack, potentially take the lead.
Darts out from either team. Scump's dip diving and dodging, and he plays the correct corner as well. It's been a slow game right now for the legend in Scump, but for this moment, he's in the hard point. He's leading his team in the objective. Lightning strike now called in, and eLevate putting a lot into this hill. But the one thing to point out, OpTic Gaming have now taken the lead, up by 8 seconds, and there's no end in sight to their hold on this hill.
And you knew it was about to happen. I mean, OpTic Gaming always goes on these runs during these matches. You can't kind of keep them down forever. They're going to make a run. They're going to start to make a comeback. It's just whether you have a lead and can weather the storm. And eLevate did not have a lead large enough, and you see OpTic Gaming is taking the lead from them.
This is when OpTic find their groove. They're now on a combined 10 streak. Scump hungry for more. He's got Crim6 watching over him as well. Across the map, you've still got Crim pressuring towards that small L-wall area. Finally, it does look like he's perished, but the damage has been done. OpTic Gaming up by 35 seconds, and now Formal. This is where he went on a tear back in the first rotation. 1, not the second. Karma with Heat Wave. Going to pop it, connects with 1. 3 dead on eLevate. OG have pushed right through.
Now I was saying OpTic needed to break that and break it effectively because they could not afford to start spawning out in that back alley, because that is one way that eLevate could have taken a ton of time on this track still. If you're OpTic, you just either contest or you push all the way through, you get that good advantage.
Beautiful engagement from Scump. eLevate, everything they do right now is just being stopped. And the reason why is OpTic Gaming have found their foot in the ground in slaying. Karma now 30 and 22. Nearly gets another 2-piece at back rail. Scump popping camo. He's surging on out. OpTic are just putting on the pressure, and it just seems like eLevate can't get comfortable. Finally, though, Aqua tries to kill all 4, but it's just not going to happen.
And Aqua switches to an HVK there, trying to force some more close-range engagements inside that track's hardpoint. It gets really chaotic. Try and fight it at the end with an M8 with all that pressure going towards you. It's probably not the best weapon to have. You see Scump's going to win that engagement. versus Aqua at the end of tracks. It's going to be eLevate in control of the center hardpoint, which they've done a very nice job controlling this far.
And this is where eLevate now need to kind of regain control, take things back into their side. I will say, Facendo really hasn't slowed down. The issue is that the hardpoint control for eLevate is just really no longer there. You've got Formal now on a 4th strength, the Arcade 5. Cuts down Felony. He's going to play this hardpoint. One more kill for Hellstorm.
And Felony has the Tempest out as well, so that's a huge kill by Formal. Flying it at the hardpoint with the Arcade 5 takes out the opposing team's Tempest player. That's huge utility that eLevate's not going to have anymore.
Karma earns another heat wave in this game, now 34 and 27. Felony going to play for this pinch from inside bricks. They know they have to play more for this auto hardpoint over everything, but also giving up 13 seconds of scrap time when OpTic Gaming have this lead, Mr. X. Oh my, I mean, you almost can't even let that happen.
Yeah, I don't think they could have afforded to let that happen. And a few times we've seen now Karma picking up kills on rotation right there. He takes out Felony, gives his team a good opportunity to control this hill early. They just don't do it. He comes in, pops the heat wave, only connects with one. You see Scump coming through bricks, trying to create an angle here for him to get one pick, and then his teammates are going to pinch.
Scump looking for the best way to push this, and oh God! The instant reaction time to just pick Aqua off that cover where only his head could be seen. Now locking down back alley. Through all this though, eLevate have actually chained together some kills, and it's a solid retake from Auto as well as Bricks.
But still, I feel like they're just so far behind at this point. OpTic just needs to set up for Grandma's, and you know they're going to be able to lock it down. You trust their ARs to lock down the back alley. You know you're going to funnel eLevate towards that mid street. It's going to be even worse.
Karma, he's just going to do everything he can to stay alive. 31-168, cuts down Facento. Felony's there as well to at least trade out that kill. Now Formal has earned another sight. Scump with the active camo, some tools ready to be used for OpTic Gaming. And I have heard a sight on the map. That is going to be Aqua playing for back silos. OpTic 246 to 169. You need a perfect game from eLevate if they want to win this map.
Yeah, and I mean, eLevate has control of this Grandma hardpoint early. It's going to be difficult, but you see Aqua with a big two-piece there with the Scythe. There's one more player from OpTic Gaming trying to come through the back alley. That was Crim. He drops as well. It's going to be 2 kills in the feed for OpTic Gaming. This is their chance to break this, Jack.
See Nagafen just trying to hold whatever angle he can. Beautiful intuition, and no Crimsix is coming from behind. Formal challenging with the sight. Both players out of ammo. 246 to 196. eLevate still keeping themselves in this game. They've held off 3 consecutive OpTic Gaming pushes. Smoke's now coming into play. Every tactic now being brought out. They're just trying to get scrappy to get into this hill.
OpTic Gaming kills that player in the back silo. It's going to be all on Nagafen inside the hard point. He's going to have players flying out of any second here, Jack. He's got one below. He's going to fire a bunch of shots and miss them all on Karma. Karma gets one. Facento flies in the hard point, contends it for a second, but Scump flies in. OpTic Gaming takes map number 1, 250, 214 versus eLevate.
And Nagafen had the perfect angle in that final push, but he just whiffs his shot. Somehow is caught off guard by Karma, even though it's the one place he can go to. So Karma soars on in, closes the door alongside Scump. And all things considered, for everything we've seen this weekend and from everything we've seen from these two teams, that is as well straight up as a hard point as OpTic Gaming could have wanted. eLevate's bans didn't wind up working out, but I do know we have our analysts. They're eager to break this game down. We'll send it back over to Puckett and the boys.
So much courage, fellas. OpTic Gaming, as you predicted, coming out on top, but at the end it looked like eLevate starting to show some life. They made a last-minute surge, got over the 200-point mark. Do you think they can hang with OpTic in future respawns after seeing this first game?
Oh, very easily. You saw 3 of the players on eLevate slaying extremely well, and that's why they're able to keep it so close. Aqua lit up the scoreboard very early in that one. Questionable score streak usage, but overall a really good slaying performance from eLevate, just not quite enough.
And on the other side, it was Formal getting it done with the AR. The M8 was on point in the first 2 hard points. Later, you saw just the rest of the team really helping him out, but Formal is just the guy you can always count on making big plays.
Yeah, he's just so consistent, and probably the best assault rifle player in the game with this M8. He's just so good, always staying alive and keeping his teammates alive.
So that's Formal from OpTic Gaming. We introduced this squad earlier. Definitely a face to look out for when it comes to S&D next. But we got to talk about OpTic's opposition. Felony has been added to this eLevate lineup, and really he was kind of the star of the Anaheim tournament. He drops over 40 kills in game number 1, and this seems like the young buck who is bringing new energy to this eLevate lineup.
I mean, yeah, he's definitely a great asset for this team. I think this is what they needed in this game. They needed that extra slaying power, that extra S&D presence, and he's been playing so well for this squad. Time and time again, we always question, is he going to slay? Is he going to do this? And he continues to prove us wrong every single time. So he's just doing absolutely amazing.
And then there's another player on this this squad that we kind of called out last night. We were saying that Bryce Vicento hasn't had the biggest performances online, hasn't had the biggest performances in recent events. But last night, he put on a show for us, double digits in the S&D. He was slaying well in all of the respawn. And this is a guy who had one of his best tournaments when the pressure was on back at Call of Duty Championships last year for Advanced Warfare.
Since he's sort of a switch to the AR role in Hardpoint, he was doing a lot better. And even the SMG in Search, the guy is improving his gameplay in all aspects, in my opinion. Yes, we were very critical of him last night, but I think he's put that, put us to silence in a little bit. He's been playing extremely well individually. Map number 1, the 3 players played well. Nagafen was the one that sort of slacked off in the play, and that's the one that stuck out for me on that scoreboard.
Yeah, but I mean, just Vicento, this is what we talked about. If he plays well with Aqua and Felony, this team is very dangerous, and you saw it there. I mean, just a few missed rotations that Grandma's Hill so tough to break, but overall a pretty solid game 1 for eLevate.
And last but not least, I want to highlight Yuli. Tell me a little bit about Aqua. What do you love about this guy's play style?
He's just so consistent. He always puts himself in power position, picking up so many kills with that assault rifle. You saw it. He was getting in the hill to site to pick up those streaks. He makes so many smart decisions in the game.
He's just such an explosive player. Everything he does is he's one of those players that uses an assault rifle, but in the hill, he pulls out the scythe. He can use a submachine gun. He's overall versatile, great explosive player. He's been playing well all weekend. He's been playing well this entire game, honestly. He's one of the more underrated players, in my opinion. I feel like people overlook him a little bit, but he can hang with those top players. He really can.
And if you don't watch Call of Duty every day like we do, you can, of course, well, you've probably seen highlights from this guy, Nagafen, the 4th member of the squad. The only one to have a really rough first game here. He was in the hard point, but not getting the kills. But this is a guy who has so many highlights on Twitter, on YouTube, and most of them come from S&Ds.
Yeah, the biggest thing we see from Nagafen usually is, number 1, the sniper, the PO6, the burst one, as well as his advanced movement. He was one of the players to adapt and sort of, I guess, set the movement meta in a sense, teaching players a lot of the wall runs on maps like Redwood, for example, Breach. A lot of fancy, flashy plays at times. Sometimes he needs to, chime those down a bit, but overall, probably the most fun player to watch on the team.
Yeah, for me, he's just the X factor. Like, if this guy's doing well, and supposedly he did very well versus FaZe in that round 1,
yep.
I think eLevate takes it very easily.
We're going to see how this one plays out. I feel like this is a must-win situation now for eLevate. If you want to win this best of 5 against OpTic Gaming, you got to start scoring early. S&D is going to be one of your better game types against them. And then, of course, we'll see a great matchup in Game 3 when it comes to Uplink. But talk to me about this next map, guys. How do you expect Search and Destroy to play out?
OpTic's a pretty good Search and Destroy team. I know a lot of people say that they're not the best Search and Destroy team, but I think that's kind of overlooked in this game. I think they're very good at Search. I think both of these teams are very powerful in Search and Destroy. I think this is going to be really, like we always talk about, who makes the least mistakes during this game. It's going to be a lot on making sure you're trading your kills as a team, making sure you're doing the right play calls, your communication is on point. You have to do everything as a team here in order to take the other team out. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, eLevate's known to be one of the better S&D teams, but you can't overlook OpTic. They have such great teamwork, such great team chemistry. I mean, it's going to be a crazy Search and Destroy to watch.
Yeah, the biggest thing, I want to keep my eye on Scump, actually. He hasn't had a bad tournament, per se, but up to Scumpy standards, really not at that 1.2-ish KD we're used to seeing so consistently from him. In that map number 1, Karma, really absolutely going off with the AR, doing great stuff there. I'm looking for Scump in this S&D to really have that explosive game that we haven't seen throughout Orlando, to be honest.
And this is going to be on evac, I believe. So evac, Search and Destroy, is that correct?
Yes.
So when we're watching this map in particular, who's the most important? Is it the SMG roles? Is it going to be the AR roles? Are we going to see snipers? How should this play out?
I don't really know. This is definitely, like I said, a map that you don't really see played too often. So it's something where you don't really have a defined role that's more important, I would say. I feel like the guy to watch for me that's going to be important is not the role, but Nagafen with the wall running. I feel like this map, you can do a lot of flanks, you can do a lot of low wall runs, you can do a lot of middle map low runs. There's so much to do, and he's the player to use that to his advantage. Even if Afterburner goes or something like that, it does not matter. He can do the slow wall runs. He's overall, probably this map suits him best.
He's got some of the best movement in Black Ops 3. That's for darn sure. It's time for our ban and protects. Let's take a look at what went down. The Shiva is the first thing removed by eLevate. They do not want to see that in Karma's hands. We have Rapid Fire going to be removed by OpTic Gaming. And then, of course, the Flashbang, HCXD, Concussion, Overkill going out Overclock is gone, and High Caliber will be removed. What is still in it? What should we be looking forward to? It doesn't look like anyone's even thinking about sniper bans.
Yeah, snipers aren't the most useful on evac. The line of sights are very blocked off, very small alleyways. I guess the only one that might be beneficial is up in, towards the B-bomb site, the lower alley, and the top windows. Other than that, not going to see it too much. That's why you're not going to see those weapons targeted heavily in this ban to protect. Overall, this is cookie cutter for the pro scene, sort of meta for search and destroy. Expect just the adaptation of the strategies on the fly. Mid-round, teams aren't necessarily under practice on this one, but there's a lot of different things. Individual plays pay off a lot on evac most
I feel
of the
like
time.
you can definitely expect a lot of four-man, like just rotations, like you were saying. Like this is a map that isn't practiced too much because it's not really in the wager scene. So this is something when a team kind of gets put on this map or like a hunted where they don't play it as much. Usually you see they just kind of try and stick together so they can trade their kills. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to be
chaos.
Yeah, control chaos. It's not going to be something where you see on other maps where there's like a smoke push or a flank or an individual flank most of the time. A lot of the time when this happens, you're going to see a lot of four-man pushes and just sticking together.
All right, well, the map is loading up, guys. I do want to introduce you to one special player. He's not very outspoken, but he's quite entertaining to watch. Let's get to know Nagafin.
If you watch me play, I'm always on a wall, always in the air, just somewhere in the air, never on the ground. I'm the greatest S&D player in the world. Search and Destroy, like, we all play individually, really. Other teams kind of try to play like a more traditional way of COD. Like, I kind of just fill in whatever like the team isn't doing. It's kind of like what I've always done. Like, if they're not doing something, I'll do it. Initial thought going into the round was like, I'm just gonna go flank A. I'm gonna wall run under the tree. But as I was going underneath the middle, I heard them all running above me. So I'm like, all right, I might as well turn around. I jumped up, 3 people in front of me.
Does he get 3? Picks up 3, Nagafin with the route.
Maybe 1 out of 20 games, maybe 1 out of 30 games, something like that happens. Not very often. I've only went negative in 1 S&D out of every S&D league match I played. Some guy was asking me how to get noticed in the gaming scene and like how to go pro, and I was like, you just got to do well in tournaments. That's pretty much it. Here in this game against Envy, I was able to 1v4 last map to win the series.
Nagafin playing for his camo here, nice. So you will have camo in round 11.
Wait, they're lining up. He has a kill. Oh my God, Nagafin, round 10, the 1v4.
It was really exciting to do it because it was something like you've always wanted to do, but it's like finally it was a reality. Stuff like that's not supposed to happen, like ever.
And there is a look live at Nagafin. The game reloading up. They'll be at it in about a minute 30, so that's going to give us some time for predictions. But first, I want to talk a little bit about Nagafin. I asked him what is his greatest strength, and he says it's probably just my demeanor in game. I never get flustered. I never get frustrated. I'm just always able to stay calm. TP, were you that type of a player on your squad, or are you kind of someone who feeds off the momentum like Clayster, for example?
I think we can sort of attest to that composure. It's very important. I wasn't necessarily the guy to get too loud, too hyped. Just focus on what needed to be done at a given time in game. It's a very good quality to have. However, there is those high intensity players. Scumpy is kind of one of those. Study as well. Some people feed off the energy more than others. I think it's a good demeanor to have overall. And then, overall, watching that 1v4, that was against my team. I was not happy. I almost threw up, actually. It's tough.
Sorry, bad memories. We're going to make you relive it here in the winners bracket finals. We've talked quite a bit about this eLevate squad. We've seen the star players on OpTic Gaming. It's time to get some predictions here, guys. It's Search and Destroy. It's going to be on evac, a map that isn't played as often in the practice regimens for the pro level. How do you guys expect this one to play out?
I'm going to give it to eLevate. I think eLevate's going to have a map. I feel like every time we count eLevate out and say that the other team's going to win, I feel like they always surprise us. So I'm definitely going to go. I'm on eLevate's side for this one.
Going eLevate.
Yeah.
If it was a different Search and Destroy map, I would go eLevate. But I think this one is just so many team pushes, and it comes down to those 2v2, 3v2 skirmishes. So I'm going to stick with OpTic. I think they're just going to stick together and roam around the map.
It's a tough one to call. I think it's going to be really close, going to around 10-ish, but I'm going to stick with OpTic as well. They looked really good. They were to bounce back in that map number 1. And I'm looking for, again, going to Scump. I want him to light up the scoreboard. Definitely. I need to see it.
I'm writing them down, guys. You're all 1 for 1 so far here on Championship Sunday. Replays, it's time to pull ahead. Otherwise, we will see these two at the end. Is it going to be eLevate? Is it going to be OpTic Gaming? Of course, we have to go through our specialist draft. That will be coming up here shortly. Let's talk about the specialist and the roles that they play in Search and Destroy in particular. What do you guys expect to see when it comes to the specialist? For everyone who's playing at home, what classes do you want to be using?
For specialists overall, the abilities are extremely strong. The things like Heat Wave and Camo allow you to isolate and play that 1 versus 1 style. And it's whoever comes down to those later rounds S&D who can use them in the clutch 1v1 situations. Karma's usually the best player we've seen. He just always seems to have the Heat Wave. Joe and I were talking about it a little bit on that first hard point. It's like whenever you need a Heat Wave to come in, Karma's there and just, I don't know how he's able to just save it for that perfect moment every single time. But on a map like Evac, the close corridors, you play off of that perfectly with those specialists.
Joe?
Yeah, there's just so many playmaking abilities with them. That Camo, that Heat Wave, we're seeing Glitch come in more and more, but really, especially on a map like this, when you have 4-man pushes all around the map, it's going to be really important to get that first blood. Use those specialists to sort of give your team the advantage. 2 teams at this level, they're not going to lose, they shouldn't lose rounds when they have the man advantage, so you'll see those specialists to sort of open up the rounds for them on offense.
Yeah, my big specialist I'm going to look out for is probably active camo. On a map like this, you see that A is probably the less preferred bomb site, and you see that in B, it's very close quarters. You're going to have a lot of up-close gunfights. So you don't want to use your active camo in the B site because it's very easy to get taken out. So usually when people get active camo, they're going to try and take it towards A. And when you do that, you can actually get that A bomb site, get that bomb down. And it's very hard to retake once that's down if you get the proper setup. So that's my specialist to go to.
All right, we're going to see who is using what. It looks like the game is loading up. It's time to send it over to our casters. Take it away, guys.
Game number 2, eBack, Search and Destroy, OpTic Gaming versus eLevate. I know we had a little bit of a delay there. Thank you so much for your patience as we get into this map. I will say, OpTic Gaming, they looked solid in that first map, especially after they heated up.
Started off a little slow,
fight back.
then they started to pick things up, but you fully expect OpTic to do that consistently, and Formal's going to get one right off the rip with the snipe, so he's going to be going with the SVG on this one, playing very aggressive towards that B bomb site.
And look, Formal, if this wasn't such an important match, he
would
have tried to hop up and go for that snipe instead. Now
he has no issue challenging this.
Yep.
We've seen him do this time and time again.
It's more important for him to play his life. Down towards Aqua. Narrowly misses that shot. Aqua still playing from inside the site. Will be able to even out the numbers. Formal sneaking, and Aqua with the 1 burst. Now 2 kills. Karma evens it back out. 2 versus 2. Felony on the flank catches Karma off guard. And it's now Crim all on his lonesome.
They have an idea of where Crim is. He's going to come around the corner. Facento takes him out. But I'll tell you what, it's a good round for eLevate. They get first blooded. Formal picks up that first snipe. And I think Aqua kind of played that perfectly from the standpoint that, like, in that choke, that small area, like, it's so difficult for Formal to snipe. Like, you got to play the percentages. Like, you're going to win that gunfight with an assault rifle most of the time. Like, if you pop out and he hits you, it's just a crazy shot. You kind of live with it in that scenario. But Aqua comes out right after killing Scump, takes Formal out as well.
Well, we heard a lot of talk about Nagafen in that pre-match warm-up, but we'll see exactly how he plays this with the Thermal FMJ stock PO6. This is his favorite weapon to wind up equipping, and I'm sorry, I missed it again. Formal across the map gets the first blood snipe, so 2 rounds in a row. eLevate, they get caught off guard, they peek, and Formal punishes them for it, and now they're going to play from the back foot again.
Yeah, and OpTic stacks over by that A site. As soon as they realize that nothing besides that one player is coming, they're going to start rotating. It's going to be Karma with 1. Formal's going to pick up another. Nagafen takes him out. Now it's going to be a sniper versus RK5 battle, but Formal not going to hit any shots. It's going to be Scump cleaning it up. OpTic Gaming gets a round on the board.
Yeah, it was Nagafen trying to hit the PO6 shot. Formal looking to answer back with the SVG of his own. But in the end, Scump just, okay, guys, calm down here. This is Championship Sunday. We need to win this round. Slides on it with the VMP, and that'll even the round count back out at 1-1. I'll look at eLevate, just talking strategy as they go back into the defensive side of it.
And I love to jump on with Formal here at the beginning.
I won't let it happen again.
See if he's going to be running the SVG, see if he can pick one up early. I think eLevate obviously should probably not peek him, and he's playing a very interesting spot.
Felony.
Like all the way far in the back, and he's just trying to get some good sight lines, and they usually, maybe they'll EMP check the front, they won't connect on anything, and then they'll poke out a little bit more, so just trying to bait some of the players on eLevate out.
Oh, Scump was waiting for anybody to push through those dark steps. Unfortunately, tags up someone, but has to fall back himself, as it will remain a 4-on-4. Nice job by Felony to get out with his life. eLevate looking to take command of this round, though, as there's some activity near that B site.
eLevate, I mean, you have a lot of players stacked over at A. You contemplate kind of just pushing straight through and, you know, pinching OpTic inside of this, you know, apartments area. You have Aqua down here. He's going to try and fend it off for himself, but OpTic Gaming does not seem to be fully committed to this B push yet. They're just kind of waiting out the clock, see if they can catch anyone off guard, and Formal probably sees an inch of Aqua and takes him out.
Gosh, my entire notifications on Twitter are going to be how I'm terrible. Snipe scum challenges. It's 2 more kills for OpTic. Pacento 1-on-4. I just don't see how this one happens.
Yeah, I mean, he has no real great way to take this back. I mean, everybody from OpTic can watch all the angles to get in towards that B bomb site, and he's going to run into Crim6 right in the corner. Crim's able to pick him up. OpTic wins yet another round, and you know, it's the snipe from Formal that's really opening things up for OpTic Gaming.
Aqua was just not ready for it. He's looking bottom bar, saying, hey, if anybody comes out from those steps, I'll easily be able to handle it. But what Formal does is he just preempts with the sniper, trusts in his own ability to snap onto any player, and punishes Aqua for holding that awkward angle. OpTic Gaming with the round count lead now. Formal, he hit the first blood snipe in 3 of the 3 rounds we played. Let's see if he can keep that theme going as he pushes towards the A site.
And if you're eLevate, you probably just want to hit one of these pretty fast and just avoid the fact that he can kind of take over the game later in the rounds with the sniper rifle, where you're forced to come out of that cover and get in towards one of the sites. And see, Formal's going to back up all the way to the helipad area. He's going to be looking over towards apartments, and there's 2 players in there for eLevate. They have not committed to a bomb site. They're a little bit more spread out than OpTic was, but now it looks like they're rotating over towards this B bomb site, going to try and get the bomb down.
They have to focus on this objective. 55 seconds left. OpTic playing this one extremely passively on defense this time around. Karma's still waiting for any pressure towards his area. It doesn't look like anything's going to happen as of yet. As the bomb will go down in a 4-on-4, going to be OpTic to play for the retake. Let's see if they can get it done. As Formal still has a sniper ready to go, Karma's there with him as well.
So if you were eLevate trying to get a bomb down, this is the site you'd like to get it down at, because it makes Formal almost a non-factor trying to push in. It doesn't matter though. Crim is able to pick up a big 2-piece on the eLevate side of the map. It's just going to be Pacento inside of the B bomb site. Uses glitch, ends up basically in the same spot that he was. They have absolutely no clue. It's going to be Pacento versus Crim here, and Pacento clutches yet again with glitch.
Pacento with the glitch has been the superstar of this weekend. Another 1 versus 3 thanks to the special stability. So I've used the glitch specialist many times.
Oh, here we go.
And, well, I first do give him full credit for the clutches he's made, as he's been inspired by my gameplay. But 2, if you stay in the same spot for long enough, your guy will just glitch to the same spot. And that's exactly what happened there.
Completely threw OpTic off guard.
Yeah.
He glitched, and I didn't even think Pacento was confused like where he was. He was like just standing there in the bottom bar, and you saw the players actually jump to the top of apartments, thinking he glitched up there, but he was still behind bar.
Going for. Oh my gosh.
What the hell is that?
That's my reaction, but you said it. No idea how he even begins to try to challenge those. Scump, though, goes ahead and says, come on, this is my area of the map. B site has been claimed by OpTic Gaming. Nagafen collaterals onto Formal and Scump to even things back out. Thankfully, Karma there for the trade. And
that got scary for a second there. As you see Scump's face, he can't believe that they just got collateraled going down the hallway. But I tell you what, when these 2 players, Nagafen on the side of eLevate and Formal on the side of OpTic, are running the sniper, you know, this heavy where they're not switching off of it round after round, you gotta just keep attacking that B bomb site. There's no reason to even contemplate going over towards A, because you're just gonna get picked with these.
And what we've seen from this weekend from Formal with the sniper is he's been great at acknowledging where to just pre-aim certain spots where teams like to fly up and push. And now that Nagafen's shown that outer wall run, I don't know if we can use it again against someone like Formal. As look at that lower wall run. Look who's trying to sneak on up. It's Karma getting so sneaky. He's used that lower area of the map to his advantage. Challenges the second. Gets him. 1 shot cleans up the kill. A 2-piece and the objective down. OpTic Gaming surge right on through, and now they've taken control of eLevate's spot.
Yeah, look at where the players on eLevate are. I mean, they're absolutely nowhere close to each other. Can't really help each other at all. So you're going to have Felony just kind of wait, try and gain some information here, and just play off of Aqua when Aqua can get close. But Aqua, I think, is kind of waiting on players to rotate back, and unfortunately for Aqua, they are not coming back. And Felony's just trying to wait, potentially see if he can make a play. Yeah.
40 seconds left. Still, eLevate, they realize we have to be the ones to plant this objective, and where it's down at could not be a tougher spot. Beautiful intuition, though, to check that side. Now a 2-on-2 as Scump is still waiting for any middle map pressure. It's going to be 2 one-on-one engagements between these players to see who will win this round. OpTic are now being pushed. Karma tagged up again. Felony trying to chase us down. Karma sneaking away. 15 seconds left.
eLevate's just running out of time, even if they get bombed.
And look at this again. He's just done it. He keeps doing it. Back under the lower wall run. Catches Aqua off guard. He's looking for Felony as well. The ace potentially for Karma. Felony's got a chase. He's dropping on down. Can Fellow see him in time? No! It does not happen. Karma using those wall runs. He's one of the best in the game at doing it.
I tell you what, though, Felony could have made that interesting. He just delays with trying to push Karma up top. I think he thinks Karma's going to jump out and re-challenge him, but there's absolutely no reason for Karma to do that in that situation. Only 6 seconds left.
Yep.
If Felony would have jumped up to top AC, challenged him right away, may have been a different result. But OpTic Gaming with another round, see if they can pull out this offensive side.
And the Let's Go Karma chants have begun from this massive MLG Orlando crowd. We are following Formal again. He has swapped off, and this is a sign of a great player, knowing when it's time to put away the sniper for moments like this. They're pushing together. Felony tries to even it out. Crim has 3 this round. It's over. It's done. 14 seconds is all OpTic Gaming need, as they're now 1 round away from going up 2-0 in your winner's bracket final.
Yeah, once you see Formal take out the M8, you figure it's going to be a fast push, whether it was going to be towards the mid-map or over towards A, or even towards that B site. Whatever they were going to do, they were going to do it fast. And they hit that mid, they kind of catch eLevate off guard, they take out 2 players right away, and then the last 2 drop, just trying to rotate back, pick up some kills. So good round there out of OpTic Gaming, 1 round away from taking a 2-0 lead in this series. And Jack, if they go up 2-0, I think it spells disaster and a quick series for eLevate.
Look, Nagafen no longer with that sniper. OpTic again playing for a B site retake, and now more than ever, I feel like that's possible due to what they have available to use. You've got Karma with the Heat Wave, Crim6 with active camo, probably the 2 best abilities you could have in this scenario for pushing back in the kitchen. This objective will be planted by Nagafen. Formal still electing to use this sniper, as now the action will begin to heat up towards this B side of the map.
1 player going on that outer wall run. You saw his outline with X-Ray. It's going to be Nagafen able to get 1, but we're still on board. Aqua comes from behind. He's able to get 1. Doesn't connect with any shots with the RK5 on a Scump, but Scump's quickly taken out by Naga. It's going to be all up to Formal with the snipe in hand, and just does not have a lot of time. Going to pull the RK5 out. Formal. Oh, some suspect shots there from Nagafen after about 30 bullets. He's finally able to connect with 4 and take out Formal, but that is like, if you're a teammate of Nagafen, like this is the kill
where was that going?
and like this is the final kill cam you watch, like you like kind of look over, it's like, hey dude, nice job. Like I don't really feel too confident about doing that.
He was trying to shoot somebody on Fringe right there with someone.
You see the way Pacento's looking at him, like, dude, you're right.
Yeah, you good, bro? eLevate still keeping this one though as a possible map win. They're back now on defense with 1 specialist good to go. They will earn 3 more in the coming rounds, and it looks like Nagafen will be the one to make the first move. He 10 camos out and it's gone, and Replays has been very vocal on the analyst desk of why he just does not like that play. And as I'm criticizing Nagafen for it, Crim6 does the same.
Well, you use it to get into an advantageous position. It's just that, Nagafen picks to go mid with it, see if they're going to go over towards B, cut them off with camo. Does not work out. It's going to be Formal and Crim with kills for OpTic Gaming. They need to get Aqua out of this position. If they do that, looks like OpTic Gaming can put it away. Crim picks up a huge kill. All on Nagafen here, the 1v3 to try and keep eLevate alive.
He no longer has his specialist to work with either. It's looking grim. He's got a defuse as well. He's been spotted. Heatwave comes in. OpTic Gaming in cruise control on Championship Sunday as they take map number 2 and now are in full command of this series.
I tell you what, I think that was one eLevate they needed to win after losing the hard point, the search and destroy. It's been a game mode they've been very good in Black Ops 3. It's definitely a map mode they needed to take, and with them dropping it, I kind of find it hard to believe they're going to come back, especially Breach uplink. I don't know.
We've seen a lot of reverse sweeps.
We have.
Not sure if it'll happen here. For now, though, I want to hear the thoughts from the analysts on that incredible evac search and destroy.
Thank you, guys. Before I get your guys' thoughts, I want to hear from the Orlando crowd. Did you guys like that last search and destroy? Make sure everyone's alive and awake in here tonight. So, fellas, let's talk a little bit about what we saw from OpTic Gaming. It was looking close at times. And then OpTic really pulled away. It was Karma with the 3K in round 6, gave him the 4-2 lead, and then they were just able to close it out. But what were some of the big moments that you guys saw throughout this map?
Basically, it all come down to Crim and Karma mostly. The fact that Crim just sort of started to heat up. There's multiple rounds where OpTic was just team pushing better. One of the rounds that sticks out to me is the 4-team push up towards middle, and Crim was able to pick up 3 players. They're just trading, baiting and switching so well, and it could have been any player in the sort of highlight in that situation. It's just whoever's in the right moment at the given time. Crim was there on that one, and then the round you were talking about, Karma's movement was absolutely amazing. We talk about how to counter a sniper. Karma showed how to do that perfectly, using those low wall runs, the things we were talking about to shut down Nagafen, using the movement to get away again to open up a free kill for him later in the round to get the 3rd. Great stuff from them overall. Just outplayed them.
Yeah, I think the big difference is like the defensive rounds. You saw OpTic just sort of playing back in their base, or they would 4-man push and they would, play a retake. eLevate, they would do like a 2-2 split, 2A, 2B, and OpTic would just, trade that out. And this is what I was talking about. This map is just so pushy when it comes to those 4-mans. You have to trade consistently, and OpTic just did it better that map.
Yeah, that was definitely eLevate's problem on that map. It was the lack of trading. After they were getting the bomb down, and once you get that bomb down, it's your advantage to win that round. It's just that, like you said, the 2-2 splits, the not being together as a whole. OpTic did such a good job of just retaking the bomb sites, waiting for your teammates, baiting and switching with the stock subs, working formal sniper. They did everything right there.
OpTic even got collateraled in one of the early rounds, and that was with the PO6, a weapon that I know you've been really harsh on, TP. You think it doesn't really belong in most games. He made it work with just one round, but do you expect him to put away the snipers moving forward in Search and Destroy if they get to a Game 5 or maybe even later in a championship match?
Do I expect him to? No. Should he? I've been harping on it for a while. Nagafen goes for these plays, and the PO6 is just an overall, it's the most difficult sniper to use besides the Draken, really. I just feel like he should be using like an SVG or something. We saw how effective Formals was. It's just so easy to get that quick pick. The quick peek and the range on it is absolutely insane. So I just don't really see the use of using that over something like a Locust or an SVG sniper.
And the big difference for me between the snipers was OpTic was using formal sniper to open up bomb sites, but they were still together. Like he would peek in those sort of cracks. He got a crack shot on Aqua, open up that bomb site for him, and they're just winning rounds. They used it a lot differently where Nagafen was going for those crazy wall runs with that PO6. He was just doing things by himself.
And what OpTic does so well with the snipers, like you're saying, they're together with Formal, but they use Formal after he gets a first blood or something. He plays it slow, waits for his teammates, but he'll be the first guy in with that pistol because they know realistically you have a sniper pistol. If the bomb's down, you got to put some pressure on the team. If he goes down first, it's not the end of the world. So they use him so well when they're playing those retakes. And a lot of people, when they snipe and Search and Destroy, don't do that well, where the sniper's the last guy alive. I know you were saying it a lot when we were watching Luminosity play. The sniper being the last guy alive, how many times are you going to clutch that? You know what I'm saying? So they do that do a really good job of that. And I think that's why OpTic is playing so well in Search and Destroy, because they do the sniping, they get the first bloods, and then they use the bait.
It feels just like Anaheim. When these two teams met up in the winners bracket finals, it was OpTic with a convincing 3-0 before that insane championship match. OpTic is now on match point going into game number 3. It's time to talk about Uplink on Breach and the key player matchup here presented by G Fuel. We have Karma going up against Nagafen. Talk to me about these two players. Are these the ones we should expect to be carrying the drone most of the game?
Most definitely. These are the guys that are going to have the drone in their hand, and that's why their kill-to-death ratios are a bit lower. 0.8s, not very nice to look at, but then you look at the carries and throws per round. Those are some nice quality stats. I would say the average points on a Breach uplink, for example, it's like 8 to 12 points, I would say, on average. So the fact that they're able to get, half of that themselves, one player on a team, it's impressive.
Yeah, and for me with OpTic, you have Karma switch to that second AR, and really this is what we've been touching on in Uplink. They've sort of been, allergic to the drone. Looking at like Scump and Crim, it seems like they're staying a little bit too much around it, waiting for Karma to come from the back. They need to control that drone as much as possible, and I'm looking at sort of, Scump and Crim 6 to take over this while Karma slays with that assault rifle.
Replays, I got to ask you this one. If Karma and Nagafen were playing a horse in Uplink, who would win this battle?
Man.
Wow.
We go on forever.
I think we'd go on for a long time. I don't know if there would be a winner. I think it would go on forever because I know for a fact that Nagafen has very good drone throws, and so does Karma. I don't really know.
All right, looking at our ban and protect boys, anything out of the ordinary, rapid, Shiva, overdrive, overclock, high caliber, flashbangs, concussions, and HCXDs removed once again.
This is completely playing in OpTic's favor. They
Yeah, I
want
agree.
the gun-to-gun action. They outclass everyone in that way. eLevate, I would think, would be one of those teams to switch it up, but just not doing it.
Yeah, I feel like normally when we see eLevate play against a team like OpTic Gaming or just any other team, I feel like they use the ban and protect to their way. I feel like they win a lot of the ban and protects, right? We saw them play Luminosity yesterday, and they targeted Nameless, they called them out, and they won that ban and protect. It's very something different to see out of eLevate playing them straight up. Usually they have a strategy behind it. It looks like right now they're kind of falling into OpTic's favor.
And there you have the specialist drafts. Nagafen's going active camo, kinetic armor for Felony, Aqua gets the Tempest, and then we're going to see Heat Wave applied for Facento. On the other side of the main stage, it's time for OpTic to make their pick, starting with Scump. What do you expect? It's going to be kinetic armor, as always.
Three, yeah, I think the big thing here is that camo's in uplink, and we've talked about how having camo advantage is huge. You have to use that camo to at least get a 1. You would want a dunk, preferably, but if you fail that camo throw or camo usage, that puts you in a big disadvantage.
Heat Wave coming in here for Karma, and Crim6 is going to lock in that active camo.
Yeah, see, it's something with the camo and uplink as a player, I've just always never wanted to play against it. Even when I have it, like when I have camo, I feel like a lot of players, like overdrive's not as effective in uplink just because in CTF you can get the flag out, you know what I'm saying? You can go all the way to the other base, and once the flag's out, you're good. But in uplink, it's very hard to take the drone and overdrive from the drone to the other base without getting taken out. So I feel like sometimes I'd rather camo be banned, but we'll see.
All right, well, both teams have a man with camo. It is time to kick it off. Let's send it over to our casters for game number 3.
You got that right, Puckett. Game 3, active camo, always something to watch out for in uplink. And already 3 dead on OpTic Gaming and Scump all by himself. Oh, can't actually get Felony, and this could be a score within the first 20 seconds.
You could legitimately not ask for a better start if you're eLevate. I mean, you get a 1-point play out of that. You get 4 dead at the beginning. Fantastic job slaying out that mid-map. Now, Facento with drone in hand. Thought about running it towards Palace, but has teammate support over by Cages. Smart play to wrap it back.
And now remember, when eLevate went playing LG last night, they go up 13-0 at the half of uplink. Near flawless gameplay. Let's see if they can continue to do that same thing versus OpTic Gaming here. Formal will play from that bottom green spot. Gonna back Facento up for the moment. Felony charging him with that submachine gun, eliminates that threat, and this has all the signs of another 1-point play at least.
Well, he's going to go high on the wall run. Could potentially try and force it for 2. And he's going to settle for the 1. May have been able to get it by Karma there. Karma seemed like he was going to, well, I don't know how he's gotten out with his life. I mean, Aqua falls directly below him. Facento going on the lower wall run. Now he's shooting Krim, not able to take him out. This is a crazy sequence of events. Now has the drone in his hand. Trying to get into bottom broken, not able to make a play. That would have been a wild play by Facento.
Yeah. Somehow stayed alive for over 30 seconds in that OpTic Gaming base. OpTic, though, they do find their ground, and now they'll go ahead and push towards this porta potty area of the map. 2 kills in their favor. They just have to watch out for Nagafen and Facento. Nagafen's been spotted, but OpTic actually hesitate for a second. Thankfully, Scump is the lead blocker. He gets the job done. 2-2. OpTic Gaming tied things up. A well-coordinated push there by OG.
Oh, it was a very nice push by OpTic Gaming on the side of eLevate. Now you're spawning over by Palace. You need to get control of your own base or mid-map. That's the 2 plays you can make, and
they
teammates colliding, falling off the middle of the map is not one way to do that. And you see Formal now with the drone in hand. It's 1 player for eLevate on the chase. That's going to be Aqua. He's able to pick up the kill, but the drone stays on the map. That's huge for OpTic Gaming if they're going to try and get points here. Scump goes in, Karma goes in for 1. He's able to connect with it. And it's going to be OG taking the lead. And if you're eLevate, Jack, this is the side where you can put up a lot of points on. We call it the more preferred side of the 2 on this map. To go down to the second half against a team like OG, when they start attacking towards Broken, it's going to get ugly.
Most certainly will. 2:40 left in this first half. OpTic Gaming still fighting for any bit of position they can get towards middle. I will say, for the majority of this game, so far that has been commanded by eLevate. Granted, they are down by 1. Misfortune earlier when they had 2 teammates collide and fall off. Now that they're going to bring it low side, they'll try to settle for a 1-point toss, but it actually doesn't get off in time. Facento left all by himself. Oh, no. Oh, gosh. Nearly chains 2. Crim6 tries to get the turn on. Won't happen there. As OpTic Gaming stopped the push again, and they're just going to leave the drone in their spawn.
Yeah, Scump kills all 4 of the eLevate players in that push, and teammates decide to push out. They leave the drone in the back of their base. They're going to let it reset in the middle of the map and then play from there.
Exactly what Crim6 will do. Low wall run versus low wall run. Fellow gets the better of him on that one. 3-2, still the score line. What do you even begin to do now if you're eLevate? You're trying these low wall runs. Again, here's another one for Vicento. That time he only gets one, so they're giving up some map positioning and some team shot ability to go for these crafty low wall runs, and each time they maybe get one and then immediately get traded out. OpTic, they say, you know what, we just need our gun skill. They force the top middle. Kinetic armor pop now as well. Scump leading the charge.
Well, it's kind of funny. I think that's probably the biggest difference is that eLevate at the beginning of this, they went out, they challenged the gunfights, they win them, and they kept pushing through, and they felt confident about their play. Now, I mean, you can just see they're getting gunned, just trying to get control of mid-map in any way, trying to use some unorthodox wall runs. You see they're just like running straight for the drone and then just trying to run away with it. Like, that's not going to work. They're going to have to fight OpTic Gaming.
It was mentioned how Scump's having a little bit more of a quiet event this weekend. Currently, though, 16-6, near triple positive. Main reason why OpTic Gaming has this lead. The one is thrown on in, everything going right for the green wall these last 2 minutes. And whoa, okay, Karma was definitely weak there.
Yeah, and at eLevate, they need to control mid-map. They need to make one good push. They get a good push over towards that glass side of the map, Jack. They spawn OpTic Gaming out towards that bottom by Palace. They're able to get some points on the board, but you see right now,
reverse that.
But it's a little bit of a sign of desperation, right? When you know you can't get control and you try and wrap it all the way over towards Palace, and I mean, if things couldn't get worse for eLevate, it's going to be Karma with an interception, and hey, I mean, they might get fortunate here. They're going to pick up the kills and get a 2-point play out of it. So it works out pretty good for eLevate there, as we thought, going for that one, probably not the best decision there. They needed the 2 points, and they end up getting it there. And they may get another 2 out of this. You see Felony with the drone going down glass. They have Vicento set up in the back of AC. They're going to do this, Jack.
2 dunks in 40 seconds from eLevate. They stop the bleeding and put on the pressure. Karma cut down. That will stop any opportunity for a score. So all things considered, that's really a best case scenario if you're eLevate at the end of that half.
Without a doubt. It looked kind of desperate when they were bringing the drone down towards Palace. They were in that mode like, hey, we just need to get any points on the board to close the gap between these two teams. And they throw it in. Karma intercepts it. They pick up the kills. They get a dunk out of that. They get another dunk on the relay because Vicento's set up behind the AC unit. It's probably as good of an end to a half as you could have had for eLevate. So I know it's tied going into the second half. And looking at it though, Jack, OpTic on the more preferred side now. You expect them to really take control.
Yeah, I'm going to watch Karma. He's 6-12, but he's had a couple of scores for OpTic Gaming, a dunk and a throw, half the team's points. Heatwave now ready. Crim6 with 2, Formal with 1 with the sight. They're putting everything into this push. Felony though with kinetic armor through the Heatwave, gets the beat down and finds 2 more. Woo, saves multiple points from going in for OpTic right there.
And that's huge. I mean, OpTic uses Heatwave out of that. They use a Scythe, and they don't get any points, and it's really just because Felony popping that kinetic armor, making a huge play mid-map.
But look, Crim6 is all the way pushed into eLevate spawn. That'll at least give Karma this lower palace lane to throw the drone. Puts OpTic Gaming back up 7-6. But in middle map, there's no pressure right now for OG.
Yeah, Nagafen controls OpTic Gaming's AC, and they have control of drone. So eLevate should be able to get some points out of this. They try passing it forward to Nagafen, and almost gets him killed there. That would have been huge for OpTic Gaming if they were able to take Nagafen out of this position. He's going to bring it into bottom lab. He's going to try and go all the way across, potentially hit this wall run for a 1-point play. He's going to use the camo to do it. Oh, he's going to force this one in for 2. OpTic tries the body block. They don't get it. Nagafen with a big play.
And remember, that's an example of where Heatwave could save that push from going in. You Heatwave the active camo player, stops him in his tracks. By the time it's done, you can immediately clean up that kill. Because it's not available and because it was used off the first push of the round, that dunk is possible for Nagafen, putting his team back up by 1. OpTic just fighting for every little bit of positioning near top middle, and they just keep trading back and forth. The kill feed has been lit up in every color in this side.
And they have not gotten any map control as well, and now they're trying to force the drone towards Palace. You see on the minimap, though, they have to change courses. They're going to go towards that top side of the minimap. It's going to be Scump trying to bring the drone.
They juked everybody on eLevate.
Oh, and this is a fantastic play. So what happened was the guys on OpTic, they go towards that top glass area. And when they see 2 players up there and they see the drone coming across on the minimap, they assume that the drone is just going to follow those 2 players up. Scump goes straight into bottom broken. eLevate had no idea that that was going to happen. Fantastic play by OpTic.
And Crim just uses camo to actually just run right past the drone carrier. So he's going to have this drone, and that'll be a dunk for eLevate.
Doesn't make much any sense.
I have no idea what that play was right there. You could see how it was developing, but I think eLevate just picked up the pace quicker than Crim6 was expecting.
This is an ugly second half of uplink. I mean,
yeah.
The team's just kind of playing chaotic right now. I mean, nobody trying to get map control, nobody trying to lock down either side, trying to put together 1, 2, 3 scores, trying to rally the drone. Just seems a little bit of chaos going on now. Aqua's going to toss the drone back towards his own spawn. I believe it doesn't actually make it over the wall, so he's just going to get that 15-second reset.
Which should help eLevate in this scenario. Unless OpTic can somehow spawn kill them off that back broken area. I don't think that's exactly what's going to happen. Kinetic armor still not stuck. Now it doesn't look like he's going to get the green light for it. Immediately taken out, but at least he's still got his positioning on the map. Aqua shuts him down, so that kinetic armor really does nothing again for OpTic Gaming.
Yeah, but look at where Formal is. The drone, he's going to be at least getting a 1-point throw off here. Nobody goes to cut him off. He's got Karma there for support. Karma's able to get one, and OpTic Gaming ties the game. If you're eLevate, you can't let little things like that happen. It's like the Scum 2-point play in that one, you can't let happen.
This is the best setup that OpTic Gaming have had so far this half.
Without a doubt.
They get 2 dead, they have a player top green. They still can't force the score though. Vicento's got out with the drone. He goes to pass it, and did his teammate just drop? I don't even know what just happened right there. Either way, he's gotten it out. No score for OpTic. I don't know how that's even possible.
Well, if OpTic would have brought that one to glass instead of trying to wrap through bottom broken, they probably would have gotten at least a 1-point play there. They had a player set up, would have been able to get the 1-point throw off. You see Vicento's going to hop his heat wave. Don't know if it even connected with anybody.
Karma.
Big play by Karma. I feel like time and time again, Jack, we talk about Karma making big plays in uplink.
The second time this game that he's gotten the interception. 10-10 with 1 minute left. Remember, if eLevate loses this map, they're not out of the tournament. They just drop to the losers bracket. OpTic Gaming, if they win this, they move into the grand finals, awaiting who from the remaining top 4 will face them. 50 seconds remaining. OpTic looking for the perfect scenario. 3 dead on eLevate. It's looking like this scenario is beginning to surface. They've got Heatwave. Felony now dead. Karma. No Heatwave as of yet. This will be a dunk at eLevate if overextended.
Okay, so the only thing I would have done differently if I was OpTic is I would have waited.
Yeah.
They don't have anybody back by mid-map, so eLevate should be able to get drone control. You see, it's going to be in the hands of Nagafen, and he's going to be able to go right into the bottom lab. This is going to be a dunk. OpTic needed to have at least a player set up in mid-map, or needed to wait before they put in that 2-point play.
Camo now earned as well. If they could just grab this drone and possibly throw it towards top AC, this could spell disaster for OpTic Gaming. The pass goes off. Nagafen with the camo. 15 seconds left to throw. Intercepted. It's intercepted by Formal. OpTic keep it tied. But wait, it's not done yet. Aqua's there with the drone. Can he pass it in time? It does appear so, but oh, the green wall. Hold on to see overtime.
Yeah.
3 interceptions in that game.
You could see it develop, though. I mean, when you saw Karma going in for the 2-point play, I mean, at least in my eyes, the first thing I look at is that mini-map when he's flying in. It's like, okay, who is there mid-map? Who's watching the overextension? They had nobody watching the overextension through Palace, nobody in mid-map. Everybody from OpTic pushed up into the eLevate base. Nagafen just picks the drone up and just runs uncontested into lab, puts in a 2-point play to tie it up.
We're in overtime now, folks. eLevate not done yet in this series. A clutch play from Formal, though, made this possible. More specialists ready to go for eLevate. They'll charge right forward. Kinetic used immediately. They not only want to beat OpTic, but they want to score this in the first 30 seconds. It's a team kill, though, from Felony on a Vicento. Tempest now out. Formal shuts that down. Nagafen moving up middle map. Karma there with the heat wave. He'll be the wall that OpTic Gaming need. And now OG will try to flip the script and go for a counterplay.
And the side of eLevate invested a decent amount into that. Obviously, when you use the Tempest and Kinetic, you kind of figure out, especially after you get 2 dead at the beginning, you need to turn into points. And now it's going to be OpTic investing a lot into this push, going to bring the Scythe out.
Formal still trying to be this lead blocker. You can see the presence that eLevate have in their spawn. Aqua goes ahead and cuts down Formal. Drone still just waiting inside this cage's area. What do you even do in this scenario, man?
I was going to say, if he brings it out the backside, he can go for the 1. Yeah, so that's a smart play by Karma. I think he was going to wait for, like, if his teammates would have picked up, like, 1 or 2 kills on the front side of cages, he would have actually tried to push that one in for 2. But once they drop, he just hits that wall run on the side of the back wall of cages and just goes up high on it, sinks the 1-point throw. Smart play there by Karma.
Another clutch moment from OpTic Gaming's Karma. He's done it so often in Uplink this weekend, and now OpTic are 56 seconds away from 3-0ing eLevate. eLevate will not have a single specialist ability. Vicento maybe can earn that heat wave, but he's gonna have a monster spray.
Yeah, and Skunk could potentially get Kinetic for OpTic. I mean, picks up a kill or 2, he would earn that one. So you're gonna see Formal here top AC. Just going to put down some shots, lock down this mid-map. It's going to be very difficult for eLevate to get control. You see they're going to play a little bit slower. They're going to have one player go on the flank. That's going to be Vicento. He's able to get 2. Now they need to go. They need to fly at the players on OpTic. This is where they can take advantage.
They've got Heatwave. Krim gets 2. Not sure if it's enough, though. Aqua with the drone. 20 seconds left. Vicento leading the charge. Heatwave gets popped. Scump now dead. He's going to go ahead, set up the 1. Intercepted again!
Karma again with a huge play in uplink.
No,
saves
reset
the
it,
game
it's done.
for OpTic Gaming. They
It's
reset
done.
it. It is over. OpTic Gaming, a 3-0 win versus eLevate.
Bow down to karma. He does it time and time again. There's nothing else you could say. Those types of plays don't show up on the stat line. People were chanting his name last night when they won their semifinals match in the winner's bracket. They're doing it again here. OpTic Gaming guaranteed a top
Time and time again in the respawn game modes, especially, 3 and 4, your uplinks and CTF, Karma is the player who makes plays for this team, bails them out of really tough situations, and you saw it many times there during uplink.
He had 15 kills, which was half of his teammates, but he had, 2 dunks, 3 throws, multiple interceptions. Insane stuff. It doesn't show up, as I said, on the stat sheet, but moments like that are what make Karma that legendary smart player.
He's a big-time player. I mean, we've seen it at COD Champs twice, winning that event. We've seen it at multiple other events. Like when the pressure is on, like those high, pressure scenarios, like there's nobody on that team. I think personally, you trust more to come up big.
And I'll say too, and sorry to cut you off, but I'll say, in that final moment, the reason why that interception is possible is there's 2 OpTic Gaming players there.
It was Formal and Karma.
Yes, Aqua's going with the drone. Formal, they stagger their jumps. Formal goes first, gets super high up. Aqua at the peak of his jump realizes, I can't throw it. I can't throw it yet. So he starts falling. As he starts falling, Karma begins his jump. As he gets to the top of his jump, it's intercepted.
And through Codcaster, that looks pretty easy, but imagine coordinating that within 10 seconds, as all this chaos is going on. That is so difficult to do. And you see they're able to do it because they've been teaming for so long. Yep. I mean, those guys have been teaming for a very long time now. They're able to coordinate those type of things. They know how each other wants to play those situations. It's a very nice play there at the end by OpTic.
Great stuff for OpTic Gaming. They move on to your grand finals, but for now, we do have an interview down on the floor with our winners.
Great stuff, guys. All right, Krim, you and I have talked about this topic back in, the complexity days with Karma. He's an interesting player. Unorthodox at times. Yeah. How does he continue to come up clutch with the big plays when you need him to?
I have no idea. Matt and Seth are the Slayers on the team. Me and Damon and I, we're the clutchers. So we clutch up when it needs to happen, and we did right there.
Well, you keep it going, and this is reminiscent of Anaheim Winners Bracket Finals. I believe you guys 3-0'd eLevate as well. They end up battling back. You face them again. How do you continue to have this team specifically have their number in the Winners Bracket Final?
I don't know. I don't really have their number. I mean, in Search, I played well, but, Damon played great the whole series, so, really proud of him. And today, this match specifically, probably our best teamwork-based match we've ever played, so.
Well, it was fun to watch, man. It really, really was. Now, on the other side, you've got, FaZe and Envy going up against each other now. Winner of that's going to be going up against eLevate. What's your gut? Who do you think is going to come out of it and make it to the final to face you guys?
You guys always ask me these questions. I don't care. I really don't care. So whoever shows up, whoever we match up against in the champ final, we're gonna beat them.
All right, final question for the OpTic fans at home. This grand final here in Orlando, what statement are you guys trying to make?
To us, honestly, this is just practice. This is practice for the big one. No. I'm not trying to roast or anything like that. It's just, this is practice for the big one. It's in 3 weeks, so we're just having fun.
Well, keep it up. You guys are looking great. I appreciate it, buddy. Good luck in the final. But to break down that Winners Bracket Final, we'll toss it back over to the analysis desk.
All right, thank you so much, Maven. Krim don't care. Doesn't matter who he plays in the final.
Don't care.
OpTic Gaming is ready, and I love Crim6's mentality. He knows there is a huge tournament just a few weeks away. Labor Day at COD XP. We're going to see the culmination of this full year of Black Ops 3 at the Call of Duty World League Finals. That's his goal, because last time they underperformed in his eyes, so we'll see where they can go in that future tournament. But so far, I think he said it best. This is probably the best teamwork OpTic Gaming has displayed all year long.
I was going to agree with him completely. That was the most well-rounded performance I've seen from them. And a lot of, the stigma in our community is like the OBJ player is dead. But let's go to the flashback to Karma. All the plays he was making, he had the drone in his hand, what it seemed like 70% of the game. And I got a new name for Karma and Formal with those defensive interceptions at the end. They're not called Carmel. Carmel. The duo. Is that cringy? Probably.
I cringed. Yeah. I was like, a little piece of me died right there. But
it was sick, though. The plays were sick.
I was going to go even cheesier. Call him Revis wearing green, man. Those guys were constantly jumping up in the air and making the big plays, the game-changing plays. If you think about it, That game was won by eLevate if we didn't see the last interception from Formal, and probably would have been won by eLevate if you didn't see the early interceptions by Karma. But you were mentioning something in overtime that really impressed you. Once OpTic Gaming stopped the first push from eLevate, they didn't go directly for the score. They really took their time and made sure to set up the one-point play replays.
Yeah, we were all talking about it together when I think Karma had the drone right at the first time, overtime, and I was sitting there, I was like, does he go for the 1 here, or does he go for the 2? Because it was like a minute in, and sometimes you want to go for that 2-point play because if it's more time into it, it's a lot easier to basically lose the next side of overtime if you don't get that 2, because you're going to give a team so much time to throw the ball for a 1. It's just so easy. So we were talking about it, but they made such a smart play. They waited for their teammates. They waited until he couldn't get intercepted. Did it as a team, like you were saying. Teamwork was just on point.
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree with you on there. Just such smart decisions from all of OpTic Gaming. But, you know, looking at Karma, I mean, there was times when he was in his base with the drone. Yeah. He would go one way with it, wrap it all the way back around his base. You know, his team would pick up some kills, and then he would just go and take it for a dunk. And it takes such smart decisions to not cut any corners, to take the correct routes. And that's just what he does. He's so good at making those decisions.
And then we have to go back to how OpTic got here in the first place, too. The uplink that kept them alive in the Rise series, the same thing happened in the overtime. Karma, we were waiting to see if they're going to go for the dunk. You look at your mini-map awareness. You look at the kill feed. As soon as his 2 teammates, the lead blockers, go down, he goes out of the back door of the second hard point, jumps over, and hits the 1 to get a nice time and the 1 in overtime. Krim, Karma consistently make these plays for these guys, and that's what sets them apart. We see it again. Please learn from this game. Everyone.
Everyone should learn from what we just saw there, guys, so far tonight. Let's talk about their opposition on the other side of the stage. This was a 3-0, but a very close game 3, and we've seen this in the past. What does eLevate need to learn from this loss? How do they adapt, and how can they force potentially another Game 5 against OpTic Gaming like we saw back at Anaheim?
I mean, there's not too much to learn necessarily. They played a very good game in the uplink. I think the Search and Destroy was something where we always talk about how good eLevate is at Search and Destroy. I think that just was not their map set. I feel like a lot of teams are under practice in evac. Every team, including OpTic too. OpTic just played it better. They played it as a 4 like we were saying. They traded their kills right. So I think those 2 maps right there, they can come out confidently. I think in the hard point though, they're going to, I think Nagafin played a little bit slow in the hard point. I think they're going to need a little bit more slaying power to take down a team like OpTic. But overall, they didn't play too bad. They just have to critique a little of those mistakes.
For me, both teams have to play better on that more preferred side. It sort of looks like they had trouble getting mid-map control, had trouble staying alive in the enemy base. You want to put that enemy team in a spawn trap, get as many points as possible. Both teams really struggled on it, and then for me, using your specialist better, like I think we all pointed out this one time, Crim6 popped camo in the middle of the map.
That was bad.
That's one of those things we touched on pregame. You have to use camo to score points. It's just such an important specialist, and there's so many advantages to it.
And also the camo play out of Nagafin as well, the one time when he went for the 1, they intercepted it. Like, of course, they made a great play, and you really can't stop an interception. But when he did have camo at the end of that overtime right there, he could have scored it. It was just that he kind of waited. He rushed a shot as if he was able to be seen. He was invisible. That's when you have to kind of wait until they jump up, and then they land, and then you go. You know what I'm saying? He was so close to the portal where he could have done that. So a little bit more specialist use could have helped him out a lot.
All right, well, we do have 2 more matches for you here on MLG Championship Sunday. Before we get to our next match, we have to catch you up, guys, on where we're at in the bracket. Of course, it all started in pool play, and we saw eLevate match up against Envy. That's a potential matchup we could see in the losers bracket finals, but Envy is going to have to get through FaZe. That's happening over on our Bravo stream right now. Will FaZe Clan be able to make a round all the way into our losers bracket finals? They fell just short, finishing 4th back at Anaheim. Or is it going to be Envy? Guys, let's get your thoughts on this matchup before we see it on the main stage.
Right now, I mean, FaZe Clan has been kind of relying on their Search and Destroy. Like one of the CTF or uplinks in the last Search and Destroy. It seems I think they're down 1-2 right now. They lost the uplink in the hard point. They won their Search and Destroy. So I don't know. I want to say they're going to go to a Game 5 just because of the way they've been playing, but I'm not sure. I think Envy might have what it takes to close it out.
I think Envy. I really want to see this OpTic Envy matchup. It was my prediction on Friday of this weekend. I want to see these 2 teams. I want to see Envy. They're at their peak right now. They just won Season 2 playoffs. I want to see this team take on OpTic Gaming.
All right. Interesting to note as well, Envy beat eLevate earlier in pools.
Right.
And then in the bracket, I think the first round was eLevate versus FaZe, and eLevate took that one. So if you're eLevate sitting there, you probably are leaning towards FaZe because you won that previous matchup.
Good points there from TP. We're going to see who is going to come out and play eLevate next on the main stage. Guys here in the crowd in Orlando, don't go anywhere. Plenty more Call of Duty Black Ops 3 when we return. We'll tell you what's going on with that Losers Bracket match. And, of course, we'll be kicking off the Losers Bracket Finals as soon as it's ready.